Hi, I'm Bernadette, the host from Murderific True Crime Podcast, coming to you from the state of Maine, USA. We are a bi-weekly podcast and discuss stories from Maine, New England, and all over the world. Our stories focus on domestic abuse, mass murder, familicides, cults, serial killers, kidnappings, and lesser-known cases. Murderific is easy to find on all podcast apps, or go to murderific.com. Give Murderific a try. Remember, murder and horrific equals Murderific.
Hi, this is Whitney from Cults, Crimes, and Cabernet, and you're listening to Advocacy on True Consequences. Join us and Eric, along with many of our friends in Atlanta on December 3rd, 2022 at Pinky's Up in Roswell, Georgia. The link for the tickets is in the show notes, and we can't wait to see you there.
I want to start this episode by thanking my latest patron subscribers. Thank you so much, Jennifer G, Lisa Z, Sabrina A, Wendy C, Christina D, Connie E. Thank you so much. Your patron subscription means so much to me. It means that I can continue providing content for you and also continue helping family members in my community who are seeking justice. Okay, let's get started. Chance Englebert loved ranching, rodeo, hunting, and derby cars. But mostly, he loved his family. His mom told me that he could be a little shy and awkward, but he was still rather outgoing. He was a storyteller and a friend to most people he met. She said he could light up a room. Chance grew up on the family ranch in Burdock, South Dakota. His mom said that he worked in Gillette, Wyoming, and lived in Moorcroft, but he still called Burdock home. He still worked for the family ranch in Burdock when he could and was looking forward to starting a job at a propane company as a welder when he went missing. Chance Englebert disappeared on July 6, 2019 in Gering, Nebraska. Surveillance video shows Chance walking north on 10th Street. He then took a sudden turn on O Street through Terrytown around 7:50 p.m. In the video, Chance was looking at his phone. It was almost like he was following a map or someone was texting him directions. An hour later, a huge storm passed through Gering. High winds, heavy rain, and flooding were reported with the storm. The last communication from his phone was at 9:08. He texted his Aunt Katie, but the text didn't make sense. All it showed was a sad face emoji and a jumble of letters. He hasn't been seen or heard from since. I am Eric Carter-Landin, and this is Advocacy, a True Consequences production. Chance's mom, Dawn, talked with me at length about Chance and the investigation via email. Dawn told me that he always knew what he stood for and the hard work he did. I asked her about her favorite memory of Chance, and she said honestly she couldn't think of just one. She told me that the memory that hurts her the most is when Chance lost the state rodeo competition by 1 point in his senior year of high school. She said that it crushed him. But Dawn and her husband Everett were so proud of him. She went on to tell me that Chance loved life and supported everyone. She said that she has so many blessed memories of him. Well, Chance did end up getting a full ride scholarship for rodeo. He studied welding and diesel mechanics at school. He married his wife Bailey in 2018. His son Banks was 3 months old when Chance went missing in Gering, Nebraska on July 6, 2019. Chance was 25 years old when he went missing. Chance and Bailey lived in Moorcroft, Wyoming. they decided to visit her family in Gering over the July 4th weekend. Gering is about 220 miles from Moorcroft, so they would be staying over for a couple of nights at her grandparents' home. Bailey would later tell police that Chance had gotten upset about some comments that were made by her family while Chance was out golfing with them. Apparently, Bailey's brother mentioned that Chance would be making less money at his new job. Chance had been laid off from his previous job at a coal mine when the company downsized. Dawn said that Bailey called Chance's dad, Everett, to tell him that her brother Kyler had said something to Chance, and he took it wrong. Dawn went on to say that she and Everett were shocked by this since Chance had always spoken very highly of Kyler. Dawn said that over the years, stories have changed, and since she and Everett weren't there, they can only go by what they were told in the beginning. Chance walked off the golf course and called Bailey, saying he wanted to leave Gering and go back to Moorcroft. There were rumors that Chance had been drinking and possibly doing drugs while he was with Bailey's family, but Dawn was adamant. She said, quote, "I know my son did not do drugs, nor would he, out of the blue, have started that night. He did not like strangers and would be very uncomfortable with them. It's not like he went to a stranger's house to hang out or party. He did drink, and more some days than I like. I'm not saying Chance was perfect, but damn close, as a mom would say. He had to take drug tests with his jobs and had already taken the drug test with the new job he was starting, so all the drug rumors are stupid." End quote. Bailey went to pick him up at the golf course, and he became more upset when she stopped at her grandmother's house to get their luggage. That's when he got out of the car and walked away. The last person to speak to Chance was his best friend, Matt Miller. Matt would later tell News Nation, quote, "He got in a fight with his in-laws, and he was wanting to come back to Wyoming, to his house, here in Moorcroft, and needed a ride immediately." End quote. He went on to say, quote, "I was 4 hours away. It was just no way. And we were in the middle of the 4th of July party at my house, so there was just no way I could make it." End quote. Matt told Chance to hang on. He said, "Give us 5 or 10 minutes. I'll call you back. I'm going to see if I can find you a ride. And if I can't, then we'll shut down the whole thing and come get you." Miller said that Chance sounded upset. He wanted to get the heck out of Nebraska. His mother, Dawn, said that his family tried to call him back a couple of times, but Chance wouldn't answer his phone. Bailey also said that she tried to call him to no avail. She said that she drove around town looking for him, but couldn't find him. She would tell police that he said he was going to head toward Torrington, Wyoming, 35 miles northwest of Gering. Surveillance shows Chance walking north on 10th Street. He then took a sudden turn to O Street through Terrytown at around 7:50 p.m. In the video, Chance was looking at his phone, and it was almost like he was following a map or someone was texting him directions. An hour later, a huge storm passed through Gering. High winds, heavy rain, and flooding were reported with the storm. The last communication from his phone was at 9:08 p.m. He texted his Aunt Katie, but the text didn't make any sense. All it showed was a sad face emoji and a jumble of letters. Dawn told me, quote, "It was just a jumble of letters and a sad face. Honestly, the first few days, the family thought it was like a pocket dial or like he wiped rain off the screen. The more I have looked at that stupid message, the time frame, and the stories out there now, I feel like whoever picked Chance up that night did it to make it look like he sent it." End quote. His cell phone last pinged near a truck stop, Western Travel Terminal. After that, his phone went dark. He hasn't been heard from or seen since. It was thought that Chance had fallen into the North Platte River during the storm. He was very close to the river when his phone pinged for the last time. Terry Lake is also very close to that location. The police believe that his disappearance could have been an accident. They say he could have fallen into the river or the lake while it was swollen with rain, or he could have drowned, because both bodies of water were swollen with rain. Matt Miller has his doubts, though. He said, quote, "I'd say Chance was born and raised for that kind of weather. There's just no way it could take him." End quote. Bailey called the Gering police to report Chance missing the following morning. One of the biggest searches in Nebraska history occurred a few days later. Law enforcement, friends, and family searched the river using drones. They walked for miles. The lead investigator on the case, Brian Eads, said that this is still very much an active investigation. Quote, "We try to treat things as a homicide until they're proved otherwise. At this point, there's no evidence to show that this is a homicide, but there really isn't evidence to show that it's not either." End quote. Several searches have taken place over the last 3 years in the area where Chance was last seen on surveillance video. Searches involving 18 law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, drones, divers, cadaver dogs, and hundreds of volunteers on foot, horseback, and ATVs, plus several searches by friends and family between Gering and Torrington have gleaned nothing. Chance remains missing. When I asked her about the searches, Dawn told me, quote, "They searched hard that first week, and we are so thankful to all that helped. There were 18 agencies and volunteers all over that town. The townspeople were very kind and helpful to us. Then as time went on, we had nothing at all from the police department. Matt, Chance's friend, and several search groups over the last 2 years, along with just many of the others that reach out to us. There's just no trace of him." End quote. A hunter found an arm bone in October of 2021 between Minnetonka and Melbeta in Nebraska. The bone was thought to belong to Chance, but the DNA results came back inconclusive because the bone had been in water for so long. It's likely that the bone belongs to Walter Gene Patterson Black, another man who went missing in the area on May 12, 2016. The bone was found in Minnetonka, roughly 10 miles from Gering, and the clothing found with the body matched the clothing that Patterson Black was last seen wearing. The bone has since been sent to a DNA lab in Florida to see if they can pull viable DNA. The results of that DNA test have not been released yet. Dawn told me that Chance remains so greatly missed by so many. His family, his community, his rodeo family, and his derby family all want him back home. She says that everyone who hears his story now misses him too. She told me that he was a very humble, pay-it-forward kid. She said that he would be embarrassed by the drama his case has caused. Quote, "He would hate anyone saying anything bad about his family or some of the stories that have come out during the weeks before this happened. But he would be so shocked by the outpour of love, prayers, and support that he and our family has gotten." End quote. Since his disappearance, there has been a rift in the family. Bailey doesn't contact Dawn or Everett. They haven't seen Banks in 3 years. The divide between the families grows wider and wider with each passing day. Bailey and her family have been very cooperative with the police. They've allowed them to do searches of their homes and have sat for many interviews. Her family has been cleared of any wrongdoing in Chance's disappearance. But they were the last ones to see Chance alive. So for Chance's parents, the suspicion remains. People need to know. He needs justice, Dawn told News Nation. "I don't know who did it. I honestly don't. I hope it's a stranger. I just want people. Somebody knows. You see this town? It's small." End quote. Gering is a very small town. It boasts 8,000 people. Everyone knows everyone and they know everyone's business. Dawn said that there haven't been many new leads in the case. She said that the tip line gets the same calls over and over, that different groups of people picked Chance up that night and things got out of hand and he was killed. There have also been rumors that it was a robbery gone bad. Brian Eads told News Nation, quote, "There's been a few different variations of that story that have been reported as far as different people being involved, different circumstances, all of which we look into and some continue to look into." End quote. Tipsters will say that he was dumped in one of the lakes or a river or a field, but nothing ever comes of it. This further frustrates the family. When asked what True Consequences listeners could do to help the family, Dawn told me that they've tried to petition the police department to do more, but nothing ever comes of it. She said they have a Facebook page called Help Find Chance Englebert. There are links on that page where people can buy t-shirts, caps, decals, and other memorabilia, keep his story out there and his face in front of as many people as possible. She said this helps fund the billboard they have for Chance, and some of the money goes to the reward fund. There is a $20,000 reward for any information leading to finding Chance. In parting, she said this: "We have way too many people out there and way too many grown men, and we need things changed to get these men and their families help to bring their loved ones home. This is a living nightmare and it's got to stop, so please share the case." End quote. According to Amanda Waldron, a volunteer private investigator with We Help the Missing, 25 men went missing from Nebraska around the same time that Chance went missing. Most of them are from the Omaha area. Many of them remain missing. We Help the Missing has also been working with Dawn and Everett by looking into Chance's disappearance. Chance would be 28 years old now. He's 5'10" and weighs 195 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. He was last seen wearing a short-sleeve Wrangler shirt, Wrangler jeans, Roper boots, and a white trucker-style cap. He has a scar on his hip. If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Chance Englebert, please contact the Scottsbluff Police Department at 308-630-6261 or the Gering Police Department at 308-436-5088. Once again, Scottsbluff Police Department at 308-630-6261 or the Gering Police Department at 308-436-5088. Any information could be helpful even if you don't think that it is. If you saw Chance in Gering on July 6th, 2019, or if you know what happened to him, please call the police. Let's bring Chance home. Thanks for listening and stay safe, everyone.